Hey guys, this is Fist of Fury here. I'm sorry I haven't caught up with any of these reviews lately and also putting more videos on my channel, but as you can see in the background, I'm kind of getting rid of stuff and trying to move now, and still, it's not going to be an overnight kind of thing. And yes, I've heard there's also the update too, which I have my personal anger towards wargaming about. And also the new Mercenary Premium tank. So this video is going to be probably really late for you guys. But again, I apologize, but I know about the updates that happen. I know about everything that's going on. But I have this to do and also all the other stuff. So I appreciate if you guys are watching this and still support my channel, which thank you very much. But I'm going to be trying my best to put videos up here now and then. Maybe I'll do some videos talking about some stuff when I'm doing all this shit. But yeah, please enjoy the video. I won't waste any more of your time, and I hope you like the new edited version of this video. I tried to do something a little bit different now, so that way you guys can enjoy it. And also, there's a little skip thing on the bottom description thing to basically, if you want to see different chapters and which ones you want to actually personally see, out of my opinion. But until then, I will see you comrades in the next video, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Now, usually, when you look at Germany as a whole, what tank comes into your mind ever hearing Germany? The Panther, the fucking Panzer IVs, the other infantries and all that? But one tank always sticks out in my country, and that is the Tiger. The Tiger is one of the iconic tanks that was used mostly around my time until the end of the war. Now, the Tiger, what we're going to review today, is a Tiger 6. Now, you're probably wondering, is it the same thing as the Japan? Well, let's get right into the review, and I will explain more when we get into the thing. Alright, before we begin this, I want to make one thing perfectly clear before I start the review, because I get this a lot from everybody. This Citadel is not the same thing as a Tiger 131. There's big differences with the tanks. Everybody keeps telling me that it's the same thing, but in tier 6. No, it's not. The pen is different, the reloading's different, accuracy is way different, and the type of armor that we're going to review today. So I just wanted to tell you guys really quick that please, just
Please stop saying this is the same Tiger tank as the fucking Tiger 131, which I have 3 marked, by the way, and also 2 marked the Japanese version. If you want proof, I'll show you real quick. There. They are not the same tanks, okay? So now we got that out of the way, let's talk about the Citadel. Now the Citadel is based off another of the Dark Horse comic books, which is, if you don't know it or you haven't seen my review of the Kraft Panzer IV, then basically they're the same people that make the art style also in the War Stories thing. So they make comic books for people who read on the go and stuff like that, and also they make pretty much the stories in this game. And this freaking Citadel Tiger is no exception. Now, I haven't really read about this story of this tank, so I don't know what precision or what, let alone what it did in the books. So I can't really go in detail about it, but I can go in detail what it is. Basically, on Hitler's birthday, basically the Tiger was born. Everybody knows about the Tiger. The Tiger is basically the most scariest fucking tank during the early ages of the war. It was like absolutely monstrous. Like literally, the average thing of killing this tank took about 4 or 5 Shermans to take down one Tiger. That is fucking insane. But we're going to talk right into it now about the Citadel. And the Citadel is a lot different than any other Tiger in the game. In fact, it has something uniquely different about it, which we're going to talk right now, is the armor real quick. Now, the armor is the only thing that is really different than any of these tanks thing in this game. Now, mostly due to the fact that the gun mantlet and the underbelly has space armor. Now, if you don't know what I mean about that, let's take a look at the other Tigers, for example. Now, most of the Tigers have the same head armor, but the thing is, though, they actually balance it out as a space armor. The problem is, inside, in between the gaps, there's a purple, meaning that it's only 21 millimeters of armor. This one feels like it has more space armor, but not only that is it also terrifying to face, the tracks underneath it actually gives it 40 millimeters of armor, which I will highlight for you guys and zoom, well, I'll try to zoom in. Yeah, like basically underneath that tracks right there. Basically, this tank is very hard to pen underbelly, because if you consider what the Tiger's original armor is, basically 101 millimeters of armor underneath the track because of the angle piece, and also considering the 40 millimeters, you're looking at nearly almost 140 millimeters. Like, if you angle that shit, that's like fucking 180 to fucking almost 189 millimeters of armor. So if you angle like this and you're shooting the underplate, you ain't gonna pen unless you have a tier 9 gun. That is like ridiculously crazy for the underbelly. But everything else is still the same. The upper plate of the Tiger is still 100 millimeters, and the top part is still 100 millimeters, plus the space armor between the gunman, making it 120, which is not bad. Only problem is it's flat, so 120 may seem like kind of like tier 8 armor, but you got to considering that the angle at 45 degrees, so it's not going to be exactly like tier 8s, but it's still terrifying to 5s and now 4s, because these tanks, like if you play a tier 4 and you go into tier 5s or 6s with it, like you're going to see this, like not 5s, but you know what I mean, like play the, like for example, the Honor tank, T-29 Honor tank, you're going to see this fucking thing, and it's not going to be happy to see you, especially if it could two-shot your ass. Okay guys, here we are. I'm going to be showing you a little bit how the gun works in this, and also how effective the armor can be, and also how exactly this Tiger is to play. Most Tigers, everybody knows that most Tigers have the sniping capabilities. But unlike the tier 6s though, the tier 6s have a little bit of a hard problem due to they have to be balanced. Like, for anyone who can tell you who owns a Tiger tank, most Tiger tanks are pretty much equipped with sniping, but look at the reticle aim. It's a little bit better, but it still has an inaccurate shot sometimes, meaning it's not precise shooting. Now, let's see, that's just a Stewart. Oh, shot him in the tracks. You see, Now the rounds you want to use, if you do get this tank, you want to use armor piercings at long range, but I should be using high explosives, but every time when I have a chance to shoot, somebody dies. Maybe I can get to this guy. Let's see how effective these are. Ah, missed. That's what I mean, like these type of things are like hard to hit. Let's load up the armor piercing. And it hits. So this tank does a lot of good damage for its tank tier it goes against. However though, oop, that bounced off the commander's hatch. Let's see, let's get another shot in. Oh, he angled just in time. And that's another problem with this tank. Angling it makes it incredibly a lot harder. So KV-1s and KV-85s, all the KVs will be a big problem unless they're like that, 90 degrees. Now, the thing you want to not do in this tank, too, is do basically going up against up close and personal. Now, the problem with that idea, though, is most of these tanks are designed to where you have to go brawl with them in these tiers. Now, can I shoot armor piercing? It's all yellow, but let's see how much damage it does. Only 50. Okay, so it doesn't really harm a lot of medium tanks. But let's try armor piercing again. Oh, just hit the snowbank. God damn it. So let's see this Cromwell. So yeah, you can conclude that the reloading on this is okay, but it's not as great. I mean, Tigers usually have a 5.50 when you get a good crew and everything. This is like 5. What was it again? 5.75? Let's reload that again and see what it is. Yep, 5.76. So close enough. So it's pretty damn close to it. However though, like most heavily armored tanks, it doesn't really fight against 7s really well. I mean, right now I'm only showing you the tier 5s right now. But the tier 7s, the bullets seem to ricochet a lot, which, again, that is not really a good thing when basically this tank goes up against, you know, tier 8s. So when this tank goes up to a tier 8, the gun seems mediocrely bad to where the point you have to switch to APCR. Now, which I'll load one right now to one of these low tiers, but if anyone doesn't know, APCR is the fast shooting projectile. Like, you got armor piercing that's basically shoots through the battlefield and do much pen through any side angles or anything. APCR are best pen by either 90-degree angles. Now, it doesn't mean you cannot pen them anywhere and it will not pen, but at the same time, though, you want to make sure that they don't precisely angle it, because there are occasions where the farther the distance you shoot. And high explosive is it. Now, oh shit. Basically what's happening now is like you did not want this for a Tiger. You do not want to be flanked. So I see a tier 4. I'm going to load high explosive for him, since basically he's a low tier. Oh, just barely got him. Got him under the commander's hatch, and then I'm getting hit pounded by Artie. I may die here. But yeah, that's all you need to know about it. I'll go back to the garage in a few minutes to show you, or tell you the other things about this tank. Okay guys, now let's talk about the bullets. Now the bullets are just what you expect on a German tier 6 Tiger. It's basically got the same damage and pen as the Japanese. You're talking about 165 to 250, 275. Penetration is 109 to basically 181. Now, if you go by the actual gun itself, which the highest rolling pen you can do for that round is 145. So that's like the highest chance of penning, but I always like to go by the bullets because the bullets show like what's the least the minimum you can do, and that's 109. And the highest roll you can do like 181. So, and the price of the bullet is 252. Again, that's normal for a tier 6 price. There's nothing really special about that. If for a premium tank, that's like normal tier 6 prices. APCR, same thing, but it does 146 to 243. Now, this is why I had to mention in the beginning why the Tiger 131 is different than this tank, because that's the normal pen for the Tiger 131 with its normal rounds. So, yeah, I don't understand why people compare it so much when I just showed you in that little battle scene that it's just not fast at aiming, fast at this, and the pen is worse than the Tiger 131. So yeah, big difference on their guns. But the bullet is cost 3,200, making it really pricey if you're fighting 8s. But the good thing about this tank, it has the same damage as the Tiger, so you can still fight 8s with APCR. It's just a little bit grudgy, money grudging if you're going to have to face, like, you know, what's the best example for a health tank in that game? Like VK100 or something like that. It's going to cost you a lot of shells to even pen it or kill it if you keep penning it. And then, of course, high explosives, which is good against those light tanks, arties, and stuff like that. 203 to 338. Penetration is only 33 to 55. And it's the same price as armor piercing. So basically, they're the same price on both sides. So you would think you don't want to put many high explosives, but always keep like 5. Because again, you face an arty and you're almost dead. It's good to have something with more extra oomph to the damage when you're hold down between arties and light tanks and you who's trying to survive, but only fire at light tanks that literally have 20 millimeters of armor. Anything a little bit with angle armor and stuff, it's not going to do much damage, or shot in the tracks, and definitely not going to do any damage. So 9 times out of 10 you're going to be firing armor piercings.
So here we are on Runesburg. Now, this is obviously... So here we are on Runesburg to show you the capability of the citadel, and basically pretty much my personal opinions. Now, as I reviewed already the Japanese Tiger, I'm already not a stranger to this tank. This tank is literally the same thing as the Japanese Tiger, but I did mention that space armor. So it gave me a little try to do it. Now, the price to get this tank is obviously not like, it's going to be like tier 6 price, but again, not bad. I was actually shocked to see Wargaming actually brought out a tier 6 than just like basically like bringing out another 8, which I was very happy about, but we don't know about that yet. So there's an E2 right over there. I fired my first shot, got him right in the turret with the standard round. Now I'm trying to make sure to make my shots precise because, again, like the Japanese Tiger I had to sit there and aim and shoot. This is not like the normal play style of the actual Tiger. Most people, like, when I reviewed that tank, like, literally everybody was mad about it. I don't know what the fuck this Churchill 3 is doing, like, when I faced him, and then, boop, dead. Like, seriously, why? and I'm getting dings off, which is the first time seeing that, because usually these types of tanks usually get penned really easily, which is shocking. But back to what I was saying, like, most people were 50-50 with the Japanese Tiger, and I can respectfully so. It is a Tiger tank that plays into a tier 6, so it's probably cool. But at the same time, though, to me, the matchmaking is not fair for the Japanese Tiger, let alone what type of gun. It's not, like, built like a Tiger. Like, anyone who tells you, like, if they drove a Tiger for so many years knows this Tiger is not the same kind of Tiger. Yes, it could snipe and all that jazz, barely, but at the same time, though, it is not quick and efficient. And there's my first kill. So yeah, what I'm trying to do is, just like any Tiger would do, angle themselves completely that much degrees to basically block the armor. Just pretty much just blocking. This guy can't even pen me at all. And I'm realizing my thing to the left, right is falling off, but not good. For any collector that probably wants Germany or Japanese Tiger tier 6s, I can respectively so if they could see that, because these tanks are terrifying in their tier. There is no doubt in my mind that these tanks are literally scary tanks to go up against when you're a low tier. Especially, look at that tier 4. One shot, boom, like lost majority of his health, and then British Bulldog finally got him. See, like, that's the fear it has. It's just the fact is I just don't like it that much because it's the same play style as the Japanese, which means you have to go aggressive, but you don't have much hit points as the Tiger itself,
which I'm not asking too much. I'm not going to ask like, oh, give me 1,500 health and break the damn tank. No. But it'd be nice to have a little bit like balanced armor because the Tiger's head does get easily penned by most tanks. But this one I think they did update it because there's a fully upgrade. I think that's a fully upgraded. I can't tell. Actually, no, he's got the turret upgrade but not the gun. So like things like that, it's more easy to take out. But anything with a big gun, it's like impossible to kill. So I'm face hugging him. He can't pen me with that stubby gun. And it's like more comedic. Now, I bounced that shot because he was angling because I'm using the standard rounds and it's kind of hard to kill something with the standard rounds. And then I'm getting shot everywhere. And this is the biggest problem with the tank. It does get flanked because of how slow it does. It gets into these situations where it does really bad. And sadly, I died. Now, that was a pretty short game for what I had to deal with and stuff. And I'm going to pause it real quick because this is a replay. So, yeah, I mean, you probably think I played pretty poorly, but wait until you see in the garage what I made. But when all in all, it's an okay tank, but for this type of tier, it still suffers some problems. Even though I do like the modifications, but I can explain that all at the end when we do the final verdict. So let's go back and get the reward and show you what it was like. And there you go, guys. Even in defeat, how much pen I've done, I've made still 71,000 credits. Without premium, I would have made 40k, which is incredible since this is only my second time playing this tank. But then again, it's no surprise because I too marked the Japanese Tiger, so clearly I know what I'm doing. It's just the problem was obviously there was no help in the city and it was too late. But I just wanted to show that clip of the replay because it shows how terrifying it can be in tier 6. But however, it does suffer some major problems. And we're going to talk about all that in the final verdict. But see, like top board, everything did nearly 3,000 damage. Where compared to most tanks that did nothing. My team just completely flopped. So it's not just me, but even if their team, like they did the most damage, like this tank can rack up damage pretty damn quick. And it's one of those tanks you do not want to leave alive on the battlefield, especially if he's got you in your sight. Okay guys, let's talk about the final view on the Tiger tank Citadel. Now, the problem is with this tank, I could just leave it as the same review, a number as the Japanese Tiger. However though, my Japanese Tiger had some mixed opinions on it. A lot of people like it. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't know what to do. And it's the same thing with this boat. Although, Japanese Tiger, to me, I can understand why people like it because, again, it's a tank that if it's in its own tier, it's fucking terrifying to go against. Really fucking terrifying. However, though, if you're in a tier 7, it's going to be a problem. And I always say that this tank should have premium matchmaking because the normal rounds should equal out of what you have to face. Because if you're going up against a tank that you have to forcibly fire APCR, then what's the whole point of buying a tank if you're spamming APCR at tier 8s or anything like that? Because you saw the pen. It could barely pen an 8. Barely minimum pen. But if he angles or anything, you're just not going to do anything then. Not to mention you don't have much health or do anything with it. However, though, even though I gave, a hard time with the Japanese Tiger in the review, the Citadel actually gave it a little bit more promise. I mean, you got to remember, it still has the space armor. I actually have bounced a lot of 8s with it lately. And it still does its job. So despite the fact that everything I mentioned, I mean, the bullets, the pen and all that between the Japanese and this one, I'm going to have to give this one, literally no joke, a 6.9 out of 10. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Fury, that's like close to a 7. It's like you guys said that there was many flaws. But again, you can actually do something with this tank. You can actually block shit with it. If you have people shooting you at long range and hitting your underbelly, not even a fucking tier 8 gun can penetrate through that much space armor. It's like literally you got a tank that can actually have armor. Aggressively good armor. Which is not bad, because that was the one thing I wanted for the Japanese Tiger, because people spam APCR, everybody spams the high explosive, KV2 always fires at you, so how are you going to protect yourself against people who keep spamming this? And the Citadel is the closest thing that makes it perfect for me, because it literally is a tank that is balanced out to be good or bad. So this is a tank that's not broken that much. Don't get me wrong, it can be broken in tier 6, but that's only if you give it into a good player. However, though, it is still balanced out regardless of what people say about it. It is still balanced due to the fact of what it does. Just be mindful if you buy it, and if you're playing late at night with not many people, like it says on the top screen, 7,000 people, you're not going to get a lot of tier 6 games or 7s. You might go into a lot of 8s, and that's where I had to get it down to 6.9 out of 10. It's still a good tank. It's just if you get into 8s, a lot of times, you're going to have a hard time killing things. And I know, that's every 6 in the game kind of like that, besides KV2. Even so, this still can fight it. It's just you gotta play really smart with it. And that's what the thing I love about people playing their tanks. It's just there's always somebody out there that could take a tank like me who hates the Japanese Tiger and able to 2-mark a tank and never seen anyone do it, because you actually play the tank long enough to see how to do it. And that's literally my only opinion on this tank. It's literally the same thing as the Japanese Tiger, but it's better, just with a little few touches on there that makes it perfect for this tank that is balanced out. Now, I don't want them to keep on breaking it on all the way. I mean, it would be nice that it only goes up to 7 with the amount of damage and pen it does. But obviously, people have proven that you can kill an 8 with this tank, so it's not going to change much.
And there you have it. It is basically average. Now, I know most Americans are like this. Your fucking Japanese review sucks. You didn't give it any good credit. It can fight 8s, even though I die a lot of times being stupid and all, but that is still a great tank. But everybody has their own different opinions. But, all in all, you all have a great day. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta escape from this crazy sucking son of a bitch, and also get back to the front line.
That's right, you better run! America is always great! Even though you guys came over here, America was not technically anyone else at the time. There was no true American, but still, we're the great! Even so! Even though we have racism and fucking problems in here and there compared to some of your countries, but fuck it, America! And just for that, the next review we're gonna be doing is the goddamn Glory Patriot, the Minutemen. And I will see you then.